Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside in a very wet and soggy North Carolina. We have been blessed with large, copious amounts of rain the past couple of days. So we took the opportunity while the rain had stopped for a moment to do our weekly nursery tour. I know that we have lots of sweet friends up in like Michigan and Illinois and that kind of area that's not getting very much rain. So I am not complaining about rain. But we have had, what, maybe 3 inches of rain at least in less than 24 hours. And it's not a gentle, steady rain. It's just an all like, or nothing. But I digress. So if it starts raining on us, we're just going to do the best we can and just go with the flow. No pun intended. All right. Obviously, we're in the greenhouse. And so we're going to focus on some plants to meet either because right into June, July's knocking on the door. You've probably got the vast majority of like your annuals in the ground or in containers, but we're kind of entering into that season where, as far as annuals are concerned, you need a little pop of color here or a little pop of color there. You went on vacation, your plants in your container died, you need to replace it. We're getting into that situation, right? So we're going to kind of focus on that, and then we're going to head over to the pines and talk about some fantastic shrubs and perennials for the shade that we have not covered yet, because we have got some fantastic things that I want to share with you. We are standing right here next to the mangaves. Mangaves for us last year were a new plant, and so I have grown them for a year, have a little bit of experience under my belt, and I want to share them with you. So mangaves are a cross between an agave and a manfreda. So what that means is that you get the look of an agave, right? So we're very familiar with agave plants, those drought tolerant, heat loving, beautiful plants, but these can handle a lot more water and they can have beautiful color on them. Jerry, why don't you get in here and show them some beautiful colors? So they have lots of different colors and textures to them, and you can water them more, which means they will grow faster. So Kata, you've heard us talk about Kata before, our sweet friend from Walter's Gardens. This is where these came from. She says water them like a hosta. They are full sun, but you can water them like a hosta. The more water you give them and the more sun they get, the faster they will grow. You can put them into a container and they will go ahead and get as big as that container is. So some of them that I have from last year are ginormous. I mean, they can basically fill in like a 5-gallon container. Huge plants. These are really fun. I have these in a couple of different containers, but some of my favorite ones, I have them in little terracotta pots, clay pots, and they're staying to that size in the terracotta pot, and you can put them like on a patio table or tuck them into your landscape. Really fun. Most of them are not going to be cold hardy, so you're going to want to protect them in the winter. You could put them in your garage, an outbuilding, anything like that. So mangaves are fun and their names are fun. You got purple people eater, you got Navajo princess, you got all sorts of fun little things. Lantana. If you did not get lantana this year, we have a couple of trays left of the Luscious Royale lemon tart. Lemon tart is what we planted in mass at our house. It has a really nice, bright, vibrant yellow, solid yellow. It's not going to have any other colors in it. Definitely a full sun plant that is going to be about 2 feet tall. And let's see, the width on it is really about the same thing. It's about 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide. It is an annual. It says on the tag that it'll be a perennial in zones 9 to 11. We treat it as as an annual. So maybe it would come back. I just treat it as an annual. But this is something that is going to go through all the way through the fall with the heat and the humidity and just be massive and gorgeous. It tends to be deer resistant, massive pollinator attractor. Your butterflies, hummingbirds love lantana. This is a beautiful one. It pairs very nicely with your Artist Blue ageratum. Now, right now it looks like the Artist Blue would be taller than the lemon tart, but it's not. So if you're going to plant this, you would want your blue to be in the front and your lemon tart to be in the back. That blue and that bright yellow together is just a gorgeous combination for sure. So that artist blue ageratum is a beautiful plant. It stays really nice and tight and compact. It grows tall, but it stays tight. Love that. Beautiful pops of color with your sun patience. These are the compact blush pink. Really gorgeous plants. I love sun patience. I have them in multiple areas of our yard. You have to keep them well watered when you plant them to get their roots established, and then they tend to be a little bit more drought tolerant. So you've got the blush pink and then the compact purple. These are the two colors that I use the most in our yard, and just adore them. They pop, they get nice and big, they don't mind the heat and humidity, they'll just keep on going. I have not seen any Japanese beetles on any of these. We have Japanese beetles on other things, but we don't have them on the sun patience. So this is a great thing. We'll do great in containers and or obviously the landscape. Now, if you've been around me for a hot second, you probably know I am a huge fan of coleus. When in doubt and you want some color, not necessarily flowers, you want color in your landscape, coleus is the way to go. Y'all, this is the easiest plant to put in the ground, the containers. I mean, and they come in a range of colors. So this is pineapple brandy. You've got golden dreams. You have apple brandy. You have lime thyme. This is chocolate drop, which is a trailing coleus. And this is wicked hot. Wicked hot will be a beautiful red or orange. Now, the beautiful thing about the Color Blaze coleus that I so adore and love is, one, their performance, obviously, but two, they can do sun or shade. Like, I have had people, I'll have my coleus in the full sun, like in a container or something, and I'll post it on social media, and they're like, how can you have a shade plant in the full sun? Well, guess what? They do sun or shade. And I truly have grown them in both conditions. You will get a little bit of color variation. Like, even if you put a pineapple brandy in complete sun and one in complete shade, you're gonna have a little bit of color variation. Wicked Witch is like, it's only a few years old as far as being introduced, but in my opinion, I mean, this is a classic. I mean, massive leaves, like the size of my palm, basically. Does an amazing job, goes with just about anything. Beautiful kind of ruffled edges with that lime green on the end. Just fantastic. One of our very first water trough that we did at the barn was late in the summer, and we had no plants to put in it, right? Because we had sold everything at the nursery. But we had some really pitiful looking coleus. Like, we had, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 different kinds, and they looked awful. They were like coleus trees. And I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I planted that water trough full of coleuses. And as soon as they got out of these grande pots and they got into a bigger container, man, they bushed out and got tall. It was one of our most attractive water troughs, and it was only coleus. You can mix and match and put them in there. Stunning. I adore these plants. They are great. We have some more coleuses. This is all part of the Main Street series, and just beautiful. So if you're into more of the pink, you've got this. This one particular one is Orchard Road. Beautiful ones. We've got more chartreuse, just this kind of that solid lime green. This is oh my gosh, what is that? Chartreuse Street.
There you go, folks.
There you go. My pronunciation police. I'm not familiar with that one. So anyway, obviously Main Street series is they're named after main roads. I don't know that road. And then we've got verbenas in here, caladiums of steel, of course. Let's move on over, and you're gonna see everything's pretty waterlogged out here because, again, we've had so much rain. Brenna is on high alert. Her new thing is that she likes to protect us from squirrels. So she kind of knows that she goes into the trees and she's looking for squirrels to chase because she just does. So I don't mind it because she keeps the squirrels away from the bird feeders, which is a pet peeve of mine. All right, moving on out here to the pines in all this beautiful moisture that we have. All right, shade loving shrubs, because that can be a challenge when you have lots of shade. What do you bring in there to bring color? Well, these are Florida sunshines, and Florida sunshine is a type of anise, right? Licorice, if you will. They are getting ready to put on little tiny flowers, and if you crush this foliage, the stem, the flower, it will have a licorice smell to it. They tend to be a little bit more deer resistant because of that fragrance that they give off. Now, I am not a person that enjoys licorice, but this does not give off that fragrance. However, like I said, this stem is already damaged, but it does have a little bit of a fragrance to it. Love this for the shade, because it truly is a shade plant. If you put it in too much sun, it will burn and not do well. But it is an evergreen, and it gives you beautiful brightness in a dark place like this. I mean, we're pretty dark here because of the clouds. We're under the pines, and these just kind of glow. They really show out. Nice mounded. You can easily come in and prune it just like any other shrub, because when you prune it, it stays nice and tight and compact. So Florida sunshines, I'm not sure on the zones on that. I don't have a tag for these guys as far as that goes. So Florida sunshine, wonderful shade, evergreen shrub that will give you lots of beautiful color. Now, another one that I really want to share with you is over here, and it is, we're going to move Tough Stuff because I want to show you this beautiful hydrangea that is new on the market. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? This is Invincible Sublime. The Invincible series is not a new series. Oh my gosh, everything is so heavy with water. Invincible is a smooth hydrangea that gives you a beautiful lime color on the flower. So this is a color specific hydrangea. Does not matter what your pH soil is, it is going to be this lime color. They don't start out white, they don't turn lime, they are lime. So this is a lime colored hydrangea, hardy in zones 3 to 9. Now the tag says sun to part shade, 3.5 to 5 feet tall and wide. If you are in a hot, humid area like we are in North Carolina, zone 7B, I first put some of my Invincibles, when we first were trying them out, I put them in all day sun. Sun up, sun down, and my heavens, they fried. They could not handle it. Even on irrigation, they fried. As soon as I took them out of the ground, moved them to an area where they get morning sun and afternoon shade, they exploded and flourished. So if you're in a hot area like I am, or hotter, this is definitely going to be more shade. Morning sun, yes. Afternoon sun, probably not. When I first saw Sublime, like on the tag, because I didn't see it in person, I just was like, I'm not really sure, like, because it's not white, it doesn't really pop. Like, well, I don't know if I really like it. But when I saw it in bloom, I do adore it. This would bring such a calming color to a shade garden. Morning sun, afternoon shade. I love this because it's very calm and it's very peaceful. It is not very like this massive color as far as like a red or a hot pink. So it's a very soothing color. I plan on putting some of these up near the chicken coop in the shade area. And being a 3.5 to 5 foot tall and wide, it will be a gorgeous kind of put it in the back, pair it with some of these Florida sunshines, stunning. So Invincible Sublimes, they are in full bloom. Smooth hydrangeas bloom on new growth. We like hydrangeas that bloom on new growth. That means you are guaranteed blooms every single year. You would trim this just like a panicle hydrangea in late winter going into spring. So come get these. Nice size heads on them. Even with being in a container, I mean, because plants in a container tend to be a little bit on the smaller side. So to have this nice growth in a container is a good thing for sure. All right, come on, down the road here just a little bit. Other great options for the shade, okay? Camellias, of course. We have beautiful camellias. And what if we have, these are gonna be, oh, white by the gate. I just saw that. Okay, so white by the gate, these are gonna be japonica camellias. I know it's a japonica because it has a big old fat leaf on it, but that means it's gonna bloom in late winter into early spring. So for those of you that like to have your tags, there is your tag, your white by the gate. This is going to be a big one, 10 to 12 tall and wide. Hardy in zones, it says 8 and above, late winter, but it is a massive, pure, double white bloom. Especially your japonicas, they tend to start out really slow. Like it takes them a while to get going. But once they start growing, they are massive. We have a friend, customer, master gardener friend, Terry, who has a white by the gate. And y'all, it is huge. And when it is in full bloom, it looks like it is snowing. It is gorgeous. So white by the gate will do great with like morning sun, afternoon shade, or like filtered sun. Be a great spot for it. Of course, hostas. You can't talk about a shade garden without talking about hostas. They come in every shape, size, leaf texture, shade of green. There are even white hostas that are a little bit more elusive than others. But basically when you have your hostas, it is talking about just go and have fun. Mix your taller ones that have more of that vase-like. Get some that are nice and tiny. Like look at this. Here we have, well, that's guacamole. That doesn't look like, well, anyway, it's a little guacamole. Guacamole is supposed to be bigger. But you get all the different colors and shapes. Here we have, is this the drinking gourd? Blue Angel. So Blue Angel is that beautiful, what we call a blue hosta, has blue hues in it. Nice kind of a cupped leaf. And you can see it's right beside of Rainbow's End, right? So you've got beautiful different leaf texture, different colors. That's probably Wee back there that has really ruffled edges, a little bit of cream on the outside of those edges. So you just have fun. And I tell people all the time, when you're starting and you're using hostas and you're adding them to your garden, you absolutely can have one of each variety. It's not like a big huge shrub where you need to have like consistency as far as like the same height and texture. That's what I love about a good woodland garden, is that you can mix those in together. Great plants for your shade. This table right here. One, if not, this is probably my favorite fern. This is Lady in Red. And Lady in Red, it is a lady fern, obviously. It is called Lady in Red because the new stems have a reddish hue to them. They are, it is a very upright fern. It is a very delicate looking fern. It will be hardy in zones 3 to 8. It'll be about 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide. This brings a beautiful softness and texture to the shade garden. It is very kind of whimsical. It will blow in the wind. I adore this fern. For us in the South, extremely cold hardy. You do not have to worry about our winters getting too cold. Every year your mass, just like the whole base of it, just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It feels like it's raining. It's not, it's just the wind blowing, so everything's falling down on top of us. So you've got the Lady in Red ferns. A wonderful, this is a variegated sedge. This is Feather Falls. And Feather Falls was introduced to us, again, by our beloved Kata. And this is an evergreen, lack of a better word, grass. And this Feather Falls is going to be a big, beautiful beast. It's only going to be 14 to 18 inches tall. Clearly it has kind of that cascading, weeping habit, but it can get like 3 feet wide. It gets huge. Hardy in zones 5 to 9, and of course it pairs well with any of your shade, garden plants, right? It does great in a container. We saw this at Walter's Gardens last summer, and it was in a huge container, massive. I have several of these in the ground, in the landscape. Beautiful if you have hanging basket. If you have a shady area, you need a hanging basket, plop one of these in. It is gorgeous. I love it. And it pairs so nicely like with purple eucharis. So you can, again, mix these eucharis known as corbels. Also, just gorgeous colors and textures. But see, all of this works so nicely together. You've got ferns and grasses and eucharis, all some wonderful, wonderful things. Another fun fern that really is kind of neat is the one from Proven Winners. So this is, let's see if I can find you a good specimen here. This is the crested surf. And the crested surf is a type of Japanese painted fern. And so it will get some height to it. It will get to be about 2 feet tall. But what makes crested surf fun is the little ends, the little tufts. They have these, best way I can describe it, is these little tufty tufts of an end. But it has beautiful color, nice dark stems, green and silver foliage on it. Will get a good height. I mean, it will get, like I said, 2 feet tall, and this is hardy in zones 3 to 8. Really fun, gorgeous fern to add to your garden. Now, if you were looking, yes, they did. Our lights fell down. Well, would you look at that? That's not good. This is real live action here, folks. I'm telling you, we've had, watch out, Bee. Yeah, no busted bulbs. I wonder if it just came off. I don't know. We'll have to explore that later, y'all. Sorry about that. That was just a little side note right there. Shade annuals. If you want to have some color in your garden, you absolutely can, as far as like continuous flowers, because that's the thing about shade. I was dealing with one of our sweet customers, and he was looking for a perennial that was a continuous bloomer in the summertime. And I was really having a hard time thinking of a perennial that would have continuous blooms. So that is where your annuals come in, and that's where you can shore up your shade garden if you want to have those continuous blooms. The Rocapuco series, again, everybody's like a drowned rat around here. This is the Rocapuco purple. And they have beautiful, nice double flowers on them. And so they come in different colors. What we have left, we have been so popular this year. We had the purple and the wisteria and then the apple blossom. But these do really nice. Pegasus begonias, of course, your caladiums. All of those are wonderful to give you some color and texture in your shade garden. I want to give you a little update of, I haven't shared this with you on video, but I went ahead and planted, maybe, in the aquapot on the front porch. Remember, I showed you how we planted the brand new, this is new for next year. This is the Double Delight Apple Blossom Begonia. So here at the nursery, we have a unique stone trough. This is the pink Chablis Lamian. This is the 3rd year that the Lamian has been in here. And then added the apple blossom to it. It is a beautiful mounding weeping habit on it. Nice, soft, creamy white and pink to it. A great begonia. Really fun annual that will bring lots of color to your garden. You can get it next year, not this year. Wrinkle and Time Hosta. Just have to show this to you. Look how beautiful this thing is. How fun is that? This is from Walter's Gardens. Beautiful variegated foliage, has a little bit of a ruffle to it. You can see that it's got beautiful purple flowers that are massive pollinator attractors. Hummingbirds love hosta blooms. So if you have shade and you think, well, I can't, have hummingbirds in my garden, no, hummingbirds love hosta blooms. And so just a beautiful, has those really showy, wavy leaves on it with that beautiful purple, and it's only going to be 9 inches tall. So this is a nice petite one that will do great in the front of your border or even into a container. So it's short, but it's very dense, has lots of texture to it. Will be a great one to add to your garden for sure. Let's see, what am I missing, Jer? Any what? Yes, we do. Let's come on over here, Bee. Brenna's about to go crazy. This is day 3 of, well, Sundays. Sundays are our day of rest. That's the church day. And so she's basically inside for most of the day on that day. And then we've had 2 days of rain. So bless her heart, she's about to lose her ever loving mind, which is making all of us lose our mind. So she is glad. Normally she's not here on nursery tours, but we brought her out today since it stopped raining. All right, that's right, Brenna. Isn't that pretty? Oh, she loves that. All right, so these are Savannah urns from Unique Stone. And we've got 3 of them left here. We have got the Ancient Age over here. Then this is the green. Is it amber green? I never can remember the full name of the green. And then we have the last one, we have the dark walnut. Unique Stone offers their finishes in 6 different stains. And so each one of them is unique, haha, given the name, but their stains when they make them are handmade and handcrafted, right? So you'll get variation within the colors, but this is that dark walnut, excuse me, just beautiful. These are gorgeous. You can put these, my mama was the first one that got one of these, and she has it in her shade garden filled with shade perennials. So she's got hostas and brunnera and ferns. It is one of the most spectacular containers I have ever seen in my life. So don't think that you can't have your shade perennials in containers. You absolutely can. It brings the garden up, it brings elevation to your garden, and brings a certain texture and uniqueness to it. Coming on over here, again, lots and lots of rain that we have had, so the bird baths are full. So these are some really fun bird baths. This is the bird bath that I had at the house. This is the Florentine, yes, the Florentine bird bath, again, in multiple colors over here. And yes, the birds do love them. They absolutely use them, and they are fantastic. This is a 2-piece bird bath, so your top will just lift off. I've never had an issue as far as like it being wobbly or falling off. And then of course the Galloway urns, these are hugely popular. They are beautiful pieces that again elevate your garden. So you can, the great thing about this is that you can use it as a standalone piece, as a focal point. You can use it mixed in completely with your garden. You could underplant around it, and then again you have the height of whatever it is that you decide to put in here. You can do that. All of Unique Stone's planters have drainage holes, and you can easily run irrigation up through them. So even the base will have a tube going down the center of it, so you could run an irrigation line up through here and then into your bowl. So just know that if you get a Unique Stone planter, it is going to have a beautiful drain hole in it. So we have the troughs, right? We have all of the beautiful urns. We have the Charleston basket boy. So within the Unique Stone line, they have 2 different I guess like special lines that they offer. So one is the Biltmore line, and so this is from the Biltmore estate in Asheville, North Carolina, not too far from us. So those are pieces that are inspired by Biltmore or have pieces of the architecture and the design built into the Biltmore pieces. They also have partnered with the Historical Society of Charleston, and the Charleston Basket Boy is one of those. So the Charleston Basket Boy is, I believe it is Greek, because there was a lot of European influence within the architecture and the designs of Charleston, South Carolina. And so this is a boy dressed with his toga, holding up the basket that they use as a planter. There's also the Charleston bird bath boy. So he has a bird bath on his head. So these are great for succulents. If you remember when we did Tina and Archie's tour last week, Tina has one of these and she put succulents in there. This is not something that you're going to want to put like in the full sun that needs lots of water, because it is a small, shallow bowl. Succulents, sempervivums, hen and chicks work great in that as well. If you have more of a little whimsy to yourself, like I do in your garden, then Unique Stone certainly has that for you. We have got the Derby foxes, which I love. You have got the garden gnomes, which I just think are so stinking cute. The forest gnome, I always want to call it a garden gnome. The forest gnome, so sweet. Sassy frogs, the pineapples. Pineapples, I know in the South, and I think other places as well, even other countries, because we've had viewers tell us this, that is a sign of hospitality. So we have the pineapples, the owls, and if you're like me and you want to have chickens, then we have got some chickens that you can add to your garden. Both we have roosters and hens and different colors that you can add to your landscape. Most people don't want chickens in your landscape because they love to scratch and they can destroy your garden in a heartbeat. But if you don't want to have a live chicken, you can always have a unique stone chicken and put it in there, and it will be a nice little fun whimsical addition to your garden. But come see us Wednesdays through Saturday. That is going to be our hours from now until we close in wintertime, whenever that may be. So Wednesday through Saturday, 9 to 3. We would love to see you. Come see us. We have got options for you, whether it's annuals, perennials, shrubs, unique stone, wind chimes, you name it. Basically, we have it and we would love to see you. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.